Now the coat was without seam, woven from the top throughout. They said therefore among themselves, let us not rend it, let us not tear this coat, but cast lots for it. Let's bid for it. Whose it shall be, that the scripture might be fulfilled, which said, they parted my raiment among them, and for my vesture they did cast lots. These things therefore the soldiers did. See? Go back to Psalm 22 and 18. They part my garments among them and cast lots upon my vesture. So I dare you have our power and spur life. You're gonna make movies, Israelites, and make it like it is, man. I mean, Mashak Avashai, he became poor, to be as his brother. Kings brought a Mashak Avashai gold, the best gold of Ophir, and frankincense and myrrh, protected from the evil that he had to contend with. This is what we're looking at, people. It's no different, nothing new under the sun. These spirits are still coming back and being worse than they were now because they know they got a short time. That's why we have to be in the spirit. Look at Mark, the first chapter. We're going to read verse 21. Mark 1 and 21. And they went into Capernaum, and straightway on the Sabbath day he entered into the synagogue and taught. So all you that say you're not supposed to be in no building teaching, you better think again, because I think I did a lesson on that, because somebody asked me about that. It said you're not supposed to be in a building, you're supposed to be only on the street. What did it say? And they went into Capernaum, and straightway on the Sabbath day he entered into the synagogue. That's a building of worship, and taught. St. Mark 1:21. And they were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one that had authority, and not as the scribes. Remember, he had a strong voice, like many waters, like thunder. And there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying, let us alone. He would say, let us alone. But it said he had an unclean spirit. But he cried out, saying, let us alone. What have we to do with thee, thou Messiah of Nazareth? Art thou come to destroy us? I know thee, who thou art, the Holy One of the Most High. And the Messiah rebuked him, saying, hold thy peace, and come out of him. When the unclean spirit had torn him, and cried with a loud voice, he came out of him. And they were all amazed, insomuch that they have questioned among themselves, saying, what thing is this? What is this that just happened? What new doctrine is this? For with authority commanded he even the unclean spirits, and they do obey him. Immediately his fame spread abroad throughout all the region round about Galilee. And forthwith, when they were come out of the synagogue, they entered into the house of Simon and Andrew, with James and John. But Simon's wife's mother lay sick of a fever, and Anna, they tell him of her. Simon's mother was sick of a fever, and he came and took her by the hand, and lifted her up, and immediately the fever left her, and she ministered unto him. And at even, when the sun did set, they brought unto him all that were diseased, and them that were possessed with devils, and all the city was gathered together at the door, and looking. He healed many that were sick of diverse diseases, and cast out many devils, and suffered not the devils to speak, because they knew him. In the morning, rising up a great while before day, he went out and departed into a solitary place, and there prayed. Get all to himself. He gave the apostles that power. Matthew the 10th chapter. In verse 1. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power, this is spiritual power, against unclean spirits, to cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. He gave them power. Against unclean spirits, to cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. And he told them, and it's to us too, but this is a special gift that he promised us in St. John 14 and 12. Say, verily, verily, truly, truly, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. Say, greater works than what Mashiach was doing, say, shall he do, because he's going to the Most High. Now, when you look at Acts the 2nd chapter, when the Holy Spirit had come upon the disciples as they were in Jerusalem at the Feast of Pentecost, that's when the Holy Spirit that was promised to come came. Look at what happened. And look at Acts the 3rd chapter. In verse 1, now Peter and John went up together into the temple at the hour of prayer, being the 9th hour. And a certain man, lame from his mother's womb, was carried. He was lame from his mother's womb when he was born, being carried. He never walked. Whom they laid daily at the gate of the temple, which is called Beautiful, to ask alms of them that entered into the temple. Who seeing Peter and John about to go into the temple, asked an alms, asked for some money. And Peter fastened his eyes upon him, which John said, look on us, look at me. And he gave heed unto them, expecting to receive something of them, expecting to receive some money. Then Peter said, silver and gold have I none, see? I don't have no money for you. But such as I have, give I thee. While Shema Mashiach Yahushai of Nazareth, rise up and walk. That's the power in Bahasham Mashiach Yahushua once you receive the Holy Spirit. And he took him by the right hand and lifted him up. And immediately his feet and ankle bones received strength. Remember, he was. Verse 2. And a certain man lame from his mother's womb was carried, whom they laid daily at the gate of the temple. See? He was lame from his mother's womb when he was born, from birth. Verse 8. And he leaping up stood and walked and entered with them into the temple, walking and leaping and praising the Most High. And all the people saw him walking and praising the Most High. And they knew that it was he which sat for alms, asking for money, at the beautiful gate of the temple. And they were filled with wonder and amazement at that which had happened unto him. And as the lame man which was healed held Peter and John, all the people ran together unto him in the porch that is called Solomon's, greatly wondering. See? That's the power of Baal Shem Mashiach Yahushua, going to the Most High, to have this miracles happen. See, we have to look at this with 1 Corinthians 12. And we'll read verse 1 down. It says, now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. Don't be of an ignorant state of mind, not knowing. You know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led. So he let us know, brethren, that they're Gentiles. These are Israelite Gentiles, foreigners, or Israelites that were scattered among these other lands, of the land of Corinth. Wherefore I give you to understand that no man speaketh by the Spirit of the Most High calleth Mashiach Yahushua accursed, and that no man can say that the Mashiach Yahushua is the power or the master, but by the Holy Spirit. Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are different diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are differences of administrations, but the same power. So everybody's not going to do the same thing. And there are diversities of operations, but it's the same power which worketh all in all. The same Spirit of the Most High that helps us all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. The manifestation of the Spirit of the Most High is given to every man to profit wherein he's given this gift. For to one is given by the Spirit, the word of wisdom. See? One is given by the Spirit, by the Holy Spirit, the word of wisdom. To another, the word of knowledge, by the same Spirit. To another, faith, by the same Spirit. To another, the gifts of healing, by the same Spirit. See? These are diversities of gifts, different gifts. Everybody's not going to have the same gift. To another, the working of miracles. See? To another, prophecy. Somebody's going to prophesy. To another, discerning of spirits. To another, diverse kinds of tongues, different languages they can speak. To another, the interpretation of tongues. Remember, it's different administrations, but the same power, the same Spirit. To another, the interpretation of tongues, to be able to, whenever somebody's speaking, even if it's an unknown tongue, you can tell them what they're saying. But as these worketh that one and the self-same Spirit, dividing to every man severally as he will. Some people are going to have more than one of these diverse administrations of the Spirit. For as the body is one and have many members, many people, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Mashiach. So many members, but we still one body. For by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles. Remember what he said in verse 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, it's not talking about the other nations, he's talking about his people. Remember he prayed that some of Israel might be saved? So he was sent out to reach the Israelites that were in these different lands. He's talking to the ones that's in the land of Corinth now. The Israelites, proven. Some of you might not believe it. You always see Gentiles, you always think about who? The so-called white man. So-called white people. What about the other nations? Nobody ever cared about the other nations. You just care to say Jew and Gentile. Oh, that's us. That's them. 1 Corinthians, who is it talking to? 1 Corinthians 1:1. Paul, called to be an apostle of the Mashiach Yahushua, through the will of the Most High, who is the power of who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Sothenes, our brother, unto the church of the Most High, who is the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob only, which is at Corinth. to them that are sanctified by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, called to be saints. There it is right there. Psalms 148:14. Saints are who? The children of Israel. Verse 3, grace be unto you and peace from the Most High, our Father, who is the power of who? We ain't got to go far, just go back to Acts 3:13. Our Father, let's see what that is. Let's go back a couple chapters before this. Acts 3:13. The power of Abraham and of Isaac and of Jacob. The power of our fathers. There it is right there. So that's what he's saying. When you see what it says, that's how you get understanding. 1 Corinthians 1 and 3. Grace be unto you. Let's deal with that grace. Come on. Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 9. Who's grace given to? And mercy. Say grace be unto you. Grace is what? Getting something that you don't deserve. Who's this grace given to? Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 9. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, which is the law. When you read Psalms 119, 142. And such as be faithful in love, that's love is keeping up the commandments. We went over this already. St. John 14:15. 1 John 5 and 3. 2 John 6. Shall abide with him. You keep his laws, you're going to abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints. There it is. Grace and mercy is to his saints. So let's prove who the saints are. I quoted it, but let's go there so nobody have any doubts in their heart or their minds. Psalms 148:14. He also exalted the horn, which is the power of his people, the praise of all his saints. His is a personal pronoun showing ownership, possessive pronoun showing ownership, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, who are we? A people near to the Most High. Praise ye the Most High. So now, so you see that grace be unto you in 1 Corinthians 1 and 3. Who is grace and mercy to? Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 9. For grace and mercy is to his saints, who are the 12 tribes of Israel. And he hath cared for his elect. Who's his elect? Everybody? No. Everyone is not his elect. Who's the elect? Isaiah 45 and 4 proves who the elect is. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel my elect. See? There it is. So when you see in these chapters, as you start reading these chapters, the beginning of them proves who it's talking to. It's addressed, these letters are addressed to Israel that are in these lands. That's why he said, grace be unto you in verse 3 of 1 Corinthians, the first chapter. Grace is given to the saints who are the children of Israel. And mercy. And peace from the Most High, our Father. We just proved the Most High is the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob was the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. And from the power of Mashiach Yahushua. See? So when you see these things, that's why I said when you go in these first books, you can't deny that. There's no denying. That's why you see in 1 Corinthians 12 and 13, for by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one Spirit. For the body is not one member, but many. See? The body is many members. But it's talking about the Israelites. Because the Israelites that were